YouTube, what's going on? My name is Argon. Welcome back to some Fortnite informational, instructional, conversational type of content. Today I got a video for you guys. It's going to be a little bit different. We're going to be talking about the famous double pump shotgun combination. I'm not a fan of it. I'm going to talk to you guys why. Obviously, you clicked on this video because you saw the title says do not use double pump. I got to go through four with you guys. I got to tell you why, and I want you to know that this is not going to be a video where I'm complaining about the double pump. I'm going to give you some real reasons why the double pump is not something you want to be using in-game in Fortnite Battle Royale. I'm going to give you some solid evidence, some good techniques to do instead of using double pump, and I hope you guys agree with me. I'm going to start off by saying again, like I said, this is not something where I'm hating on the double pump because I don't want it to come across like, oh, I'm just salty that I died to people with double pumps. I don't want, it's not that at all. I have actual good reasons why you shouldn't be double pumping. But before I get into that, guys, I just uploaded a video recently where I messed up. I made it public before I was supposed to make it public, and so the notifications went out. Then I privated the video, so when I re-released it, none of the notifications went out, guys. The card for that video is up in the corner right now. If you guys could check it out, that would be super awesome. It didn't get a lot of attention. It's a project that I was really excited to release to you guys. It took me a ton of time, a lot of effort. I'd love for more eyes to get on that, but let's get back into it. First, we're going to talk about why using a double pump is bad, guys. Now, basically what it comes down to is it's a crutch, right? It's a crutch that you rely on to get kills because of whatever reason. Maybe you don't want to build, maybe you don't want to do certain things, but either way, it's a crutch. And if you think it's not a crutch, let me just ask you a hypothetical situation. Let's say you could get just as many kills as you do with a double pump configuration. You could get that many kills, if not more, using only one pump without having an extra pump on you, and you could even take less damage. Now ask yourself honestly, would you still rock a double pump, or would you go ahead and run the one pump? I mean, if you're being honest with yourself, you would obviously go with the one pump if you could get the same amount of kills and or take less damage in the process. Why wouldn't you? And here's why. When you guys run double pump, you're using 2 inventory slots. Now that's a big deal. There's only 5 inventory slots. And yes, they've done a lot over time to add options to heal, do other things outside of your inventory slots like campfires, all the mushrooms, apples, all the stuff that's going around on the map nowadays that you can do that you don't have to take up inventory slots. But at the same time, you still need it, right? 5 inventory slots is not a lot, especially if you're in a solos match. Now, it may be possible to run a double pump and it will be okay and no detriment to your inventory if you're in a squads match, especially maybe at duos, but in a solos, it's definitely a big time issue if you're committing 40% of your inventory to literally one type of engagement. A double pump situation is literally just close quarters, bam, 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 I gotta get a kill quick, I gotta move on. That's not that common of it. I mean, it is common if you make it that way, but there's so many other situations, especially in solos where you have long range fights, where you're getting snuck up on, where you're getting double teamed, whatever it may be, that using a double pump, having that much of your inventory, you need other items. You need grenade launchers, you may need mini shields, you might need a sniper, you might need anything, a rocket launcher, band-aids, you never know. So committing 40% of your inventory to just specifically one type of engagement, it's very risky. Like I said, it might work in squads because you can have squad mates that are picking up roles for you on the team that you don't have to fill, and you can kind of just be the slayer. But in the solos, you don't want to be a one-trick pony. Essentially, that's what you're going to be. You're going to carry an AR, 2 pump shotguns, some shields, and maybe something else, a rocket launcher or band-aids or whatever it is you have. And that's okay for most situations, but you don't have a sniper. So if you get in a end game 1v1v1v1 and everybody's posted up in a tower, you can't really do much. You're gonna have to build your way out of it, and if you run out of mats, you're really hosed. Anyway, that's a really long-winded answer, but basically I'm saying to you, it's risky to commit that much of your inventory to just one type of engagement. Here's another reason why you shouldn't do it. Of anything that you're gonna learn to do, the double pumping is always getting adjusted. Shotguns are constantly getting adjusted. We just saw a massive balance update that just occurred. It was a huge nerf. Everybody's complaining about it. Double pump itself has already been nerfed twice. And why would you want to waste time getting good at it if it might go away? And I'm not going to lie to you, double pumping is hard. It's still a skill. Hitting shots with a pump shotgun is the second hardest shot to hit in all of Fortnite. The sniper being number 1, but a pump shotgun is number 2. To land a headshot with a pump shotgun is very, very hard. And to do it double pump style while bouncing around and switching back, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. So getting good at something that might just go away, that's just wasting your time. You better off be learning to get better at something that you are going to be good at. For example, let me just go back. Jetpacks, those are going away. Why would you bother getting used to them? There's no point. They're just temporary. They're just an annoyance. If you don't enjoy them, you just know that they're leaving. Building, however, is permanent. So why wouldn't you get good at that, right? Building's never been changed, basically. If it's ever been changed, it's only ever been buffed. It's actually never been nerfed until maybe recently when they adjusted the amount of materials you collect. But the building process itself has never been changed. It's only been made easier and been made better. That's really all it's come down to. So that's the kind of thing you want to get good at. Something like double pump, where it wasn't intended to be in the game, clearly, based on the way that they've adjusted the game over time to account for it, it's just something the devs don't want in. So why would you get so good at something that might go away? Like, it's just wasting your time. And when it does go away, you know how many players after when the original double pump in its glory went away, so many players got bad. It was crazy. So many players that relied on it so heavily had to relearn how to play the game. They had to learn how to build. They had to learn how to shoot their AR. And don't get me started on the PC crowd that only wants to rush and double pump. Like them, they're gonna have to try a new game completely, potentially. Anyway, like I said, you don't want to waste your time on doing something that's going to go away potentially. And honestly, it's going to go away. They keep messing with it. It's not going to stay. The last bit that I want to tell you as to why you don't want to get into these type of engagements, especially with the double pump situation, is you're going to take a lot of damage by engaging this way. And if you think about it, when you start a match, if you manage to get up to 200 HP, which is obviously your base 100 HP, plus your 100 shield, that's really hard to recover if you lose it. The best case scenario you're going to get is, if you don't lose health, you might get back up to 50 shield. With minis, those are pretty common, but obviously finding 50 pot shields, chug jugs, slurp juices, that's really hard to do. So the odds of you getting back up to 200 HP some point in the match, it's not that easy. Unless you're getting a lot of kills where you're picking up loot off people, you're almost never going to see a 50 pot on the field mid-game to late game unless you grab it out of a supply drop. So you got to put yourself at risk to get back up to that. So why would you want to lose that? It's just very, very dangerous. On top of that, so many engagements occur from a cleanup squad or a cleanup player coming through and finishing somebody off that just got done fighting. And when you get in that situation, if you just get done killing somebody, you and your team or whatever, you by yourself, and you're low health because you just went through a whole shotgun battle, you're 10 HP, and somebody runs up on you with a 200 HP, doesn't matter how good you are with a double pump. He just has to blow on you once and you're dead, right? But if you could do your shots, hit your shots, and only take 20, 30 damage, now you're at 175 and a guy with 200 runs up on you, you're looking good. You can survive that next battle too. So these are the reasons why, guys, you shouldn't be double pumping. And like I said, I didn't want to approach this like I'm complaining about double pumping. Like, I don't think it's a valid technique. It's very hard to do. It's very hard to get good at. And if you're good at it, you can slay out. I just don't think it's rational or logical for you to actually pursue it, given these many reasons I gave. And like I said, hopefully you don't think I'm being salty here. I'm trying to give real good reasoning. So if I move into the next section of this video where we talk about what should you do instead of double pumping, right? Obviously, I'm going to tell you you're going to stick to one pump shotguns or a high rarity tacked shotgun, or I don't know how these heavies will play out with this new meta based on this adjustments to headshot damage and multipliers. In case you're living under a rock and don't see anything on anywhere on Twitter or YouTube or whatever, basically the recent patch to the shotguns eliminated the 2.5 headshot multiplier for tacks and for pumps. Now it's 2 exactly, so the most damage you can do, if you look at the calculations, there should be a tweet on your screen right now from Marksman. He shows all the max damage potentials for all the shotguns. Actually, the gold heavy shotgun and the purple heavy shotgun now actually put out the max damage potential. And if you look at it, it actually goes in the right rarity order, which is kind of maybe what they were going for. But either way, now the heavies have the max potential damage. No shotgun has a potential to one headshot full health player. So it's not sure how this meta will play out with the heavies. The heavies are still pretty hard to use. But either way, one shotgun, whatever you can get your hands on, the best one you can find, try that one. If you don't like the heavies, stick to a pump. I'll probably stick to a pump for a while. Might try a heavy. We'll see what goes on. But either way, one shotgun. Now, the rest is all strategy. This is a third-person perspective shooter. There's no first-person option. There's no reason for you to run around a corner if you think there's a guy there. Use your peeking advantage. Maybe bait him out, wait for him to come around a corner, whatever. And as he's rushing you, that's when you poke your head out, shoot him in the face, and duck back away. Use your third person to peek and take your advantage using natural cover on the map, assuming you're not building. This is also, again, like this is a situation early game. You pick up a shotgun, you land, you pick up a pump, you're good. You're pretty good. You can survive almost anything if you use these techniques. When you don't have a lot of mats and there are some builds on the field, you do want to get good at moving evasively around these builds. You want to get strategic. You want to go down to the right level, go around, go under ramps. sneak behind walls, whatever it is. If you watch any of Nick Merckx's gameplay, he's probably the best at this, maneuvering around buildings without building himself all the time in order to get a good advantage, a good leverage, a good angle on somebody so he can get a clean shot and he can take that one shot and be good. The next technique you should learn to do, and you should already be doing this, but if you're a double pumper, you don't do this. You shoot first and then put a wall in front of you instantly. Put a wall, then build a ramp and try and get over it. Now, odds are the guy that you're shooting at is probably going to shoot back, which is going to damage most of your wall, if not take it all out. But just keep doing it. If you happen to put a wall and a ramp up, then you can try and peek over and take a shot at him. If you can't, just keep doing it. Because remember, if you're going against a double pumper, he keeps spamming his shotguns. He's going to take out your walls pretty easily, but it will take, if you're building with wood, 2 pump shots to take out a wall, and by then you can go through his clip pretty quick. He's only going to have 10 rounds, which he can go through pretty quick if he's double pumping. Once he gets to reloading, there's your chance to pop up and take a headshot on him, no problem. Don't forget to build, guys. It's the most important thing in this game. The next technique I have for you is to do peek shots if you have high ground. This is really good if you have high ground. So let's say you build up higher and you see a guy ramping up to you. You can just peek over, take a shot, even jump a little bit and get a headshot. If you kind of like what people do on PC, they do the little crouch shots with the AR where they just crouch, jump up, crouch, I'm sorry, they'll be in a crouch, they'll stand up, shoot, crouch, stand up, crouch. That's a lot to say. Crouch, stand up and shoot, crouch, stand up and shoot, crouch, stand up and shoot. They just toggle back and forth. They do it way quicker than I can say it. But you could do the same thing in a high ground situation with a pump shotgun. If you're aiming down with it, just jump up, pop a shot. If you get a damage hit on him, then that's great. Some of these battles will take a long time. They may take a minute or so, but the idea is you're doing damage while not having damage done to you. That's the most important thing. Goes back to my first situation when I was talking about why this is bad. The most important thing in this battle royale concept is your health. That's one of the hardest things to recover. You don't want to lose it as best as you can. Now, sometimes you can, whatever, if that's your playstyle, fine, do your thing. For most of us, we don't want to lose health. So if you don't want to do these kind of strategic, semi-passive, I'm not going to call them passive because they're not passive at all. They're just technical and they're strategic. If you don't want to do any of those strategies, then you can be aggressive. Just throw on an SMG as a backup. A blue tack SMG is a beast. It melts. I have a video. I'll throw a card up in the corner of that combination. It just shreds, dude. If you hit somebody for 160 or 150 in the head and they're full shield, that's only 3 more rounds that you have to hit them with an SMG and they're dead. Like, it's super fast. You're going to melt them instantly. It's definitely worth it. And because the thing is this, I know what I'm saying about the thing with inventory and committing 40% of your inventory to one kind of engagement, but in this case, it's different because you can actually use the SMG for an alternative purpose. Like, the SMG has a little bit of range, so you can shoot somebody at a little bit of a distance, and more importantly, you can also shoot through someone's walls real easily because it has a really high impact damage to materials. So it has a backup purpose if you need it. Another thing, if you know, like the issue with when you only have one pump or you're not running a tactical, sometimes people like to turtle into a box. Grab the C4s, guys. The C4s have been made very strong. They are very good at blowing up bases. Grenades will blow up bases. Stickies will blow up bases. One C4 will take out a 1x1 like that. It's super fast, super easy, no problem. I've been using them like crazy. I am obsessed. The next topic I want to say, this is something about all these videos I see of how to get better at shooting with shotguns, whatever it is. Everybody talks about sensitivity, guys. It's not that serious. Pick a sensitivity that you're comfortable with. I would rather hit all the shots that I'm comfortable with than miss all the shots that I can't hit because the sensitivity is too high. Sensitivity is dependent on the person and not the actual engagement. You know what I'm saying? Like, most of the good players, a lot of great players play on a lower sensitivity. There are a lot of great players that play on high sensitivity, but a lot of them play on low sensitivity. If it was one thing or another, then everybody would be on that one thing. But the fact that there's such a variation, that just shows you that it doesn't really matter. Just play what you're comfortable at. Whatever you could do to hit your shots. If that makes you a slower builder because you can't spin in a circle fast enough, well, whatever. You know, play to that weakness. The last thing I want to leave you with, guys, before I end this video, is you have to remember that this is a mental game more than it is a Twitch reaction game. Gun skill only gets you so far in Fortnite Battle Royale. If this was a gun skill game like Call of Duty, you could run into a group of 3 people, melt them, no problem, with an SMG, with one shotgun. That's impossible in Fortnite, to run into a group of 3 dudes and just melt them all. They're just going to shred you instantly, right? I've never seen a clip of one person walk up to 3 people that actively knew he was there and him getting all 3 kills without building, without doing something, right? So This game is more importantly to do with strategy and high IQ plays. So use all the techniques that I kind of outlined for you to your advantage. Get good at practicing those. They're going to be really useful for you. But at the end of the day, like I said from the beginning, don't double pump. It's not good for you. It's going to make you a bad player if it ever gets removed. You don't want to rely on that. You want to rely on learning how to build, how to play tactical around your builds, how to get high ground, how to know how to come down from high ground, all that kind of stuff that makes you a better Fortnite player. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, hit that like button. If you're new here and you haven't yet, don't forget to subscribe. And if you're not following me on social media, those links are down in the description below. And as always, guys, my name is Argon, and may you never die to a bush. Peace.